NMAT daily series. Today we are going to be talking about the most important thing that each one of you guys have been demanding for, which is your verbal reasoning. Okay, so let's understand all the different types of questions which you can expect in your verbal reasoning, because it's going to composite for 15 questions at least, in your NMAT exam out of the 36 questions of logical reasoning section. Okay, so सबसे पहले take a pen and paper and sit and understand the different types of questions. Okay, first we have questions which is of weakening, strengthening the argument, assumption based questions, inference based questions, course of action based questions, and how many of the conclusions follow. So conclusion based questions. Along with that, few others are also there, like facts and all of those kind of questions, decision making questions, but major chunk is coming from these type of questions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, please don't miss out this entire series which we have of the verbal reasoning videos, because I will cover up in each video the different types of questions. Okay, today I'm going to give you guys a basic overview to understand what is this entire verbal reasoning. So the objective of entire verbal reasoning is to judge your ability to make decisions, like how as a manager, what would be the assumption, what would be the next course of action, or what will strengthen, weaken the argument, right? So they are trying to test your managerial skills out here. Now when we are saying it's testing our managerial skills, reasoning skills, you have to understand firstly what do they mean. All right, so let's understand our basic things. Okay, first and foremost, what do you mean by an argument? Why that is important? Because उसके basis पे आपको आएंगे questions of course of action, conclusion, strengthening, weakening, and evaluate the argument. So पहले argument क्या होता है, that is very important to understand. Okay, so what is an argument? It is nothing but a set of statements, or you can call it as facts together, consolidated, along with a conclusion or some claim. That is called as an argument. So the entire set of statements in the question which is given, that is usually referred to as your argument. But it is not only debate, or it's not that wala argument कि argue करने वाला, ठीक है? So it is a set of statements including the conclusion and the claim towards it. All right, so that's the first most thing. Second most important thing which we have to do is understand what do you mean by conclusion, right? अभी argument में कोई conclusion है, कोई claim है, right? So conclusion क्या है? It is something which is derived on the basis of facts given, right? So facts मतलब कुछ हुआ, some statements, those are your facts, which is also called in the technical verbal reasoning terms as premise. Okay, based on those facts you have some conclusion. Based on certain evidence, what you make as a conclusion is called as inference. So conclusion is something which you get a derive out of your facts and figures. Based on some strong evidence, what you come to know is called as an inference. Inference is like making some kind of a statement, like this is what would have been, or this is the reason, giving a rationale behind it is called as an inference. Okay, these are the third things, like the third one was our inference. Fourth most important thing for us is to understand is an assumption. Now what is assumption? Assumption is something which is taken for granted, or something which is pretty obvious. So that is why, like for example, when I say, let's take a very simple statement. Okay, Raj bought a large quantity of chocolates. This is a statement. Okay, now what is this? This is called as a premise or a statement. I give you one more statement, that large quantity of chocolates are bought on big occasions. Alright. Third statement is that he must have celebrated some occasion. Okay, जो first वाला था, that is our statement or premise. Second wala, large box of chocolates are bought at some occasion. This becomes an assumption. क्यों? क्योंकि ये for granted ले लिया कि यार कुछ celebrate करना हो तो you get chocolates. ठीक है? I can take one more assumption कि Raj likes chocolates. Taken for granted ना, उसने chocolate क्यों खरीदी? क्योंकि उसको पसंद है, right? So this is something like taking for granted. That is an assumption. Like for example, now my assumption is that you guys are sitting with a pen and paper and writing notes and making notes to understand the definition of all of these things. I don't know if I'm correct or not, right? But I'm taking it for granted. That is what you mean by an assumption. जब आपके questions आएंगे exam में, it will come assumption is given. What is implicit? Implicit मतलब हमेशा true. ठीक है? So what is an assumption which will always be true in the given scenario? That is what you will be asked in your assumption based questions. ठीक है? Usually assumption क्या करता है? आपका जो facts and figures दिया हुआ है and आपका conclusion जो दिया हुआ, इन दोनों के बीच में जो hidden information है, something which will bridge this gap, that is called as an assumption. I hope all of you guys are clear with me. We have understood what do we mean by an argument, what do we mean by a premise, what do we mean by a conclusion, what do we mean by inference, what do we mean by assumption. 5 things we've understood. The sixth and the last and most important thing which we have to understand is course of action. What do I mean by course of action? Course of action means the next immediate step taken to solve that problem. So what you are expected to do in that case is, you have certain statements. Find the root cause, find the problem for it, and then you fix out the solution to fix that problem. That is called as your course of action. Alright, I hope this gives you a brief understanding about what are these types of questions. Stay tuned and don't miss out any of the series of all of these in understanding and approach towards all of these questions of verbal reasoning. And if you're really sure you want to crack verbal reasoning in your NMAT exams, get on board with the NMAT Turbo series. We have all the logical reasoning, all the critical reasoning, deduction-based questions, decision-making questions of the official guide, pre-recorded for all of you guys to understand and master this section. 15 out of 36 is like a big, huge, wow set of questions. It's a major chunk, alright? So don't miss out on that. Stay tuned to the NMAT Daily series, and do drop in the comments what do you want me to take up further ahead next. Alright, if this video has been helpful for you and you are waiting for the next videos, do like and share and comment as well. Alright, all the best. Wish you guys all the best.